Hello and welcome back to the David67 Celtic News YouTube channel. Today's video going to be a preview of tomorrow evening's Champions League game against Aston Villa. All 18 games in Champions League Week 8 will all be kicking off simultaneously at 8 p.m. British time. And so Celtic will be taking on Aston Villa at Villa Park. It's going to be live on TNT Sports 1. Celtic go into the game currently lying 18th on 12 points, goal difference +1, which means they have qualified for definite into the knockout phase for the last 16. Aston Villa are 1 point ahead, goal difference +5. They're currently 9th, and there are, as would be expected, quite a number of teams, all of whom do have a chance of getting into the top 8, which gets them a bye right through to the last 16. And there are a number of different permutations which would see Celtic through to the top 8. But element number one of that would have to be, obviously, we've got to beat Aston Villa away from home, which is easier said than done. If we don't beat Aston Villa away from home, we are destined to be somewhere, most likely, in the middle of that 9 to 24 bracket. 9 to 16 will be seeded in the draw for the playoff round. 17 to 24 will be unseeded, and so even just getting up a couple of places from 18th to 15th or 16th could actually have quite a positive influence on Celtic's chances to get through to the last 16. This wee section has been re-recorded as Brendan Rodgers has had a wee press conference confirming news both on Kieran Tierney and on Cameron Carter-Vickers. The news on Kieran Tierney is that he will be signing for Celtic in the summer of 2025 on a free agent freedom of contract basis. At the moment, Celtic and Arsenal are still in negotiations, it would appear, on some form of loan to bring Tierney to the club between February and the end of May, but that still remains under negotiation. Arsenal seem a wee bit more settled again in their left-back position, and so it may be that Mikel Arteta at Arsenal will agree to letting Tierney come to Celtic for the remainder of the 24-25 season, but that still appears to be under negotiation. On a related matter, Alex Valley is on his way back to Barcelona and then on to Como in Italy, as he is due for a medical at Como tomorrow to complete a loan period there from tomorrow right through to the end of the season. And so Alex Valley has been confirmed as leaving Celtic to go back to Barcelona and then being loaned by Barcelona for the rest of the season to Como. Now, on the basis of the news that Cameron Carter-Vickers has got a minor injury and will be missing tomorrow, this is my predicted lineup for the game against Aston Villa tomorrow evening. In goals, Kasper Schmeichel, right back Alistair Johnston, Austin Trusty at right centre-back, Liam Scales left centre-back, and Greg Taylor at left back. Greg Taylor now appears to be our only current experienced left back, although both Liam Scales, Austin Trusty, and Anthony Ralston all can play at left back if required, and so we do have a wee bit of backup in that position, even if Kieran Tierney doesn't come back to us on loan and doesn't come back to Celtic until the summer of 2025. In midfield, I'm going to go for the usual three of Callum McGregor, Rio Hatate, and Arnie Engels. On the right, Nicholas Kuhn. Through the middle, Adam Ida. And on the left, I've gone for Luis Palma. I think Brendan Rodgers may well opt for Yang, as he has throughout this season, where Yang appears to be ahead of Luis Palma in the pecking order. The reason I've gone for Luis Palma is solely on the basis of his good form in the first half of last season. Yang has had 3 or 4 starts, multiple substitute appearances, and has been overall very disappointing and has not really delivered on the massive faith that Rodgers has invested in him as being the number one backup to Kuhn and Maeda. Looking at the stats for Luis Palma in the games that he has played far fewer games and far fewer minutes than Yang. When Luis Palma has been on the pitch, he has had quite a number of passes and crosses into his teammates, which had the teammates put away the chances, would have gone down as formal assists. Against Dundee, Luis Palma created 4 very good chances according to the stats, but 3 were missed by Kyogo and 1 was missed by Yang. There were similar stats for his other performances this season, such as against Dundee United, where again a couple of crosses and passes into the box were failed to be put away by Adam Ida, and Luis Palma's also had 3 shots on goal. 1 was blocked on the line by a defender, and 2 were well saved by goalkeepers. And so on another day, Luis Palma would have had 3 or 4 assists and a couple of goals had his luck been in or had his teammates put away the good chances that he had created. So going to go personally for Luis Palma, although I suspect Rodgers will again go for Yang out on the left wing, given the fact that Maeda is suspended. Kyogo is off to Rennes, and Carter Vickers is going to be missing for at least the game against Aston Villa, and I wouldn't be too surprised if he's also out for the game against Motherwell next weekend, and probably brought back into the Dundee match a week tomorrow. Just a wee bit of other transfer news and rumours and gossip. It's said that Celtic have made a formal bid today for Sondre Orjasaeter, the left winger and attacking player for Sarpsborg in Norway. He's a 21-year-old player, good stats in terms of goals and assists. It's a couple of very promising seasons in Norwegian football. It's thought that Celtic have made a formal bid. It's not certain what that bid was. However, the asking price, according to a lot of sources, is £7 million for Orjasaeter, and interviews with the club at Sarpsborg it indicates that they are reluctant to sell Orjasaeter in this transfer window. They want to keep hold of him to the end of the season, but it may be if Celtic do match their asking price of £7 million that Sarpsborg relent and do allow Orjasaeter to come to Celtic in the next week or so. If you do want a wee reminder of how good Orjasaeter is, there was a scouting video with a lot of highlight clips done by me around about a couple of weeks ago, so do have a wee look at that video again just to remind yourself of the potential talent and skills that we could get if we did sign Orjasaeter. Another player that Celtic are said to be looking at as a potential wide left player or striker is Tamer Bany, who is a young Danish player, 21 years old, 6 foot tall. Currently plays for Randers in the Danish Super League. He is thought to be one of the most promising young players in Danish football at the moment. His contract runs through to June 2027, and so Randers are under no pressure to sell him at this time. The asking price, however, is thought to be £2.2 million, and certainly just recently Union Saint-Gilloise in Belgium had a bid of thought to be around about 1 million turned down. There are another number of clubs interested in Tamer Bany at the moment. Nantes from France, Al Ahly from Egypt, OH Leuven from Belgium, as well as Union Saint-Gilloise. And Celtic are part of that list. Looking at Bany to come, he can play as a central striker, he can play as a left winger, and he also can play as an attacking midfielder, and so would be a very useful player for Celtic, covering those three different positions. His stats aren't terribly impressive. He's played 17 games for Rangers this season, 2 goals and 4 assists, and over his whole career, 104 games, 21 goals and 11 assists, and so not the most impressive number of goals per game or assists per game for a striker or a wide left player. Haven't done a scouting video as yet of Tamar Bany, as he does appear to be, at the moment, maybe the backup to the backup, with Celtic looking at players such as Orjasaeter and Matthias Kiesgarden as their preferred options to be the extra wide left player, and also to be the first or second choice striker to go along with Ida, and but probably Dyson Mira playing through the middle as well. One other wee interesting piece of news, secondary to Stuart Kettlewell resigning yesterday as Motherwell manager. It's thought that Motherwell might now be much more willing to sell Lennon Miller in this transfer window for £3.5 to £4 million. It is thought that Celtic are one of the teams who have expressed an interest in signing Lennon Miller either in this January window or in the summer window. And there is also some speculation that if Celtic were to sign Miller in either of those two windows, the plan would be to loan him back to Motherwell for the duration of the season, and then bringing him into the full Celtic squad after that. That just about finishes things off for today's video. As I said, I've had to record this final section, which is why it's a wee bit later getting the video uploaded than normal. I'm planning to do a post-match reaction video of the Aston Villa game on Thursday morning. Whether I do a video tomorrow depends a wee bit on what news stories are coming out through the day regarding potential transfer signings, etc. But we'll definitely be doing another video on Thursday morning, looking back at the Aston Villa game. And so, until the next video, good luck Celtic against Aston Villa in your final Champions League Phase 1 game. Goodbye and hail, hail.